Which Super Smash Bros. Ultimate characters could survive the Backrooms? Let's go. Rule number 1. This is a general Backrooms lore situation, so sort of basic old wiki lore. The fighters will end up in level 0, which is, millions of square miles, drive crazy, contains entities, etc. Rule number 2. If able, the fighters can access other levels and use the resources they have there. Rule number 3. We are going to assume that there is an exit to the Backrooms, and that it is possible to find it in multiple different levels. This was the case in many older interpretations of the Backrooms, so we're doing it here. Number 4. Thirst, starvation, and sanity will all be accounted for, as well as any other physical needs the fighter has. Rule number 5. We will consider what the fighter can do in Smash Bros. And what they can do in their canon source material. And most importantly, rule number 6. If the fighter can teleport or do the equivalent of teleporting and can control where they go, they can just teleport out of the Backrooms. We're gonna go in order-ish. I don't think I ordered them correctly, but whatever, it's fine. First up, of course, is Mario. Now, Mario has dealt with being trapped in anomalous alternate realities before, such as the Haunted Mansion in Super Mario 64. However, he did end up being trapped in Luigi's Mansion, which he was, totally put in a painting there and did not make it out without Luigi's help. So, while I don't think he would necessarily escape, I think he would probably be able to survive and hold his own. Next is Donkey Kong. So, Donkey Kong doesn't really have any supernatural abilities of his own, and he is larger and slower than most other characters, so he wouldn't be able to cover a lot of distance. And as a gorilla, he would need to eat a lot of food, something rare in the Backrooms. So I honestly don't think he would be able to escape, and would probably starve to death, unfortunately. Link could easily escape the Backrooms. He could just use his Pura pad to teleport back home. Samus. I think Samus could escape the Backrooms. Her suit can sort of map out her environment in real time, and her entire thing is exploring and escaping maze-like environments. If there is an exit to the Backrooms, I'm sure she should be able to find it. Dark Samus. Dark Samus can teleport at will, so they could probably just leave the Backrooms. But honestly, I feel like Dark Samus would probably just kind of stay in the Backrooms by choice. Just stick around and kill people and become an entity, basically. Yoshi is powerful enough to defend himself, can eat anything, so he'd probably survive. Kirby could just instantly leave. Not only is Kirby stupidly overpowered and could just absorb some power entities' powers and teleport out or become invulnerable, he can teleport. He's been shown to be able to teleport, so he's good. Fox. He has crashed and landed in hazardous environments before, and he's shown to be a very fast and capable survivor, so I feel like he could probably cover a lot of ground and eventually find resources and find an exit. Pikachu. So Pikachu is an interesting case here. He's shown to be a pretty intelligent Pokemon, but at the end of the day, he is just an animal. An animal that is very fast. So, while I don't think he'd be able to escape, he could probably scrounge for food and end up living a pretty decent life. And if he encounters a hostile entity, he could probably just, quickly zap away and escape. He's a rat, after all. So, yeah, I could see Pikachu thriving in the Backrooms. Luigi escapes with relative ease. Though Luigi is a pretty fearful character, he's also very brave, and has experience escaping places full of horror, such as Luigi's Mansion. He's got this. Ness can teleport and leave instantly. And frankly, even without that, he has faced so much worse in the Backrooms, he's probably fine anyway. Captain Falcon. I'm gonna say he could survive. He's very fast, physically fit, and cover a lot of ground pretty quickly, and hold his own in most hostile entity encounters. Jigglypuff. I don't think Jigglypuff's surviving this one, I'm sorry guys. Princess Peach has been shown multiple times to utilize magic, and she has been survived being kidnapped by Bowser pretty much each time. I feel like she might be able to escape, but she would at very least be able to survive. Same deal for Daisy. Bowser. Hey, so did you guys know that Bowser can manipulate time and space? Yeah, me fucking neither. Bowser is so fucking powerful, it's not even funny. He's out. It's not even a question. Hell, he would probably enter the Backrooms and go, oh, this place is kind of spooky, and then leave, and then come back with his army and take over. Ice climbers. Coming back to reality, Popo and Nana are pretty experienced explorers, and would have to be pretty physically fit in order to traverse a challenging environment such as a tundra or snowy mountain. In the Backrooms, it's a different story, of course, and I don't think they're going to easily end up in any mountainous levels, but overall, these dudes are survivalists, and they think to be okay. Zelda can teleport, albeit short distances, and has magic powers, so I think she could survive, if not escape. Sheik is Zelda, so she gets put in the same category. Dr. Mario. So, Dr. Mario is generally considered to be a different person from regular Mario. While Dr. Mario is undeniably stronger than a typical person, his powers and abilities are much lesser compared to a normal Mario. However, Dr. Mario is a doctor. He has a doctorate and medical degree, so he has to be pretty intelligent. I think he can not only manage on his own, but also other people's injuries, so arguably he'd be able to survive just as well, if not better, than Mario. Pichu is just a baby Pikachu, so I think with Pikachu being able to survive, Pichu could as well. That said, Pichu would probably be alone and terrified, so while their speed would kind of be a big help, they definitely struggle to survive and might even go kind of crazy and or get eaten at some point. Falco, same deal as Fox. Alright, pause the video. First of all, thanks for sticking around. If you're enjoying, why not subscribe to see more stuff like this? Alright, second of all, so at this point in the list, we have reached Marth. So I'm going to take this time to cover all of the Fire Emblem characters now and get it out of the way, because Fire Emblem fucking sucks. Marth / Lucina, probably be fine. They have some magic that can heal themselves and help fight against hostile entities, so yeah. Ike, same deal. Roy, same deal. Corrin, Chrom, also the same deal there. Blech. Apparently with something called an Enlightened One form, or class or something, they can create portals and use time manipulation, so they can just leave instantly, I think. Robin can teleport, so he's out. Okay, no more Fire Emblem. If you're mad I was incorrect about the Fire Emblem characters, I don't care. Fire Emblem is not a real game. I think it's a conspiracy. I think Sakurai just made the game up so he can add his anime boy/girl season in the game, right? It's not a real game. Fire Emblem is not a real game. It's not real. Young Link is the version of Link that has access to the Ocarina, which means he can just easily use the Song of Time and rewind time to when he wasn't in the Backrooms, so he easily escapes. Ganondorf. Even without the Triforce, Ganon is an insanely powerful character, and is shown to be able to just teleport if he wants to. So even without assuming that he's good, hell, he probably just want to rule over the Backrooms anyway. Assuming Bowser doesn't get to it first. Easy escape. Mewtwo can teleport. He's out. Mr. Game & Watch. So here's the thing about Game & Watch. He's two-dimensional. And not only that, he's also from the Game & Watch games, which means he's made of, light, and we all know how fast light travels. Instant escape. Meta Knight, a fearsome warrior. Meta Knight has a ton of abilities that he has. I'm sorry, what? He can teleport? So we can just leave? Fucking, is this just gonna be a list of characters who can teleport? Pit. Okay, so Pit actually he can teleport. Fuck! Okay, no, actually, he can't teleport. He can't teleport. Because in the times that Pit and Dark Pit were teleported, they were actually teleported by specifically Palutena, which means he can't teleport. So in the Backrooms, Pit would do okay. I think his abilities would help a lot, but Pit is also just kind of a kid, I think, question mark, I'm not really sure. So he'd probably struggle a lot. Dark Pit, same. Maybe he fares slightly better, so yeah, both Pit and Dark Pit would kind of struggle in the Backrooms. At least until they're teleported out. I'm not wearing hockey pads. Zero Suit Samus. So typically, I just put this character exactly where normal Samus is, but this is actually very worth considering differently, because Zero Suit Samus doesn't have her suit, which means we have to consider how well she fares without it. And while she's still a very capable and strong woman without the suit, without the advanced weaponry and map pieces put into it, I think she would struggle. Still, way more strong and capable than the average person, she would manage, I think. So, Wario, canonically, is very intelligent. Yeah, he seems dumb, but apparently, he once created an interdimensional rift between his reality and the reality of a TV show. So I am confident that he'd be able to MacGyver his way out of escaping somehow. Snake. So Snake's whole thing is infiltration, escaping without being seen. So I think he would be able to escape the Backrooms. I think it'd probably take a while, but if he somehow had Otacon's help, he could probably manage. So overall, he probably does eventually make it out, probably unharmed, never even noticed by any partygoers or anyone else. Pokemon Trainer. I'm going to count Red over here alongside Charizard, Ivysaur, and Squirtle as a team. So none of these Pokemon can teleport, but I think together, they might be able to survive an escape. After all, the protagonists of the Pokemon games have been shown to escape some pretty crazy circumstances, with or without the help of their Pokemon. So I think... Wait. He can just use the rope and escape? Fuck! Diddy Kong is dead. Not much he can do in the situation. Lucas, same deal with Ness, putting them together. He's probably faced worse. Okay, so Sonic basically escapes instantly, but not for the reason you might think. He can teleport sometimes, but for this case, we're going for just basic Sonic, no rings or anything. So Sonic is obviously very fast, and in general, there are two speeds he's depicted in running in. The speed of sound and the speed of light. If he's traveling at the speed of sound, well, he might be cooked. The Backrooms are described as being around 600 million square miles. If we assume that level 0 of the Backrooms is a perfect square and is 600 million square miles and don't account for walls or other obstacles, and Sonic can travel at the speed of sound, which is 760 miles per hour, doing the math, 600 million square miles divided by 760 miles, it would take 782,529 hours, or approximately 90 years for Sonic to cover all the ground of the Backrooms. So it's possible that in the best case scenario he gets out of the Backrooms, but worst case, he's stuck for a long time there. However, in most depictions, especially more recent ones, Sonic can travel generally at either close to the speed of light or faster than the speed of light. So the speed of light is 186,282 miles per second. So if we just divide 600 million square miles by the speed of light, we get 3,220 seconds, or roughly an hour. So in this case, even in the worst case scenario, Sonic can sweep through the Backrooms level 0 in under an hour and find the exit. Math can be fun sometimes, huh? Alright, back to me getting mad at characters being able to teleport. At least Sonic fucking earned it! Okay, so I don't think DDD can teleport, thank God. As a pretty egotistical king with an obsession with Kirby, he'd probably not fare well in the Backrooms. With pretty limited powers and abilities and a not so strong mental fortitude, I think he probably goes crazy. Olimar. So Olimar is an interesting case where I think he would not be able to escape, but I could see him thriving, depending on how many Pikmin he has with him. Either way, though, I think with his experience surviving alien planets and hiding from giant monsters, he would probably manage to survive. I'm sure he would be very relieved to find out that once his oxygen runs out, the Backrooms does have normal air. You can teleport. I'm gonna fucking throw some! So, Rob doesn't have any real abilities that would enable him to escape or navigate the Backrooms better than anyone else, but at the same time, he is a robot. He doesn't have to worry about food or water or even oxygen, so if he managed to find a big source of power, like level 3, and was able to protect himself from entities with his lasers and whatnot, he is thriving. So, Link from the Wind Waker series has some abilities that would probably help him survive the Backrooms, but in terms of escaping it, not so much. A lot of his most powerful abilities come from the ocean and using his boat. So, assuming he doesn't land in level 7 already in the boat, delegated to just walking around, he would probably manage to survive, but not really escape. Wolf, I'm going to put slightly below Fox and Falco, just because from what I've gathered, he doesn't seem to have the same speed advantage as the other characters, but he probably do just fine in the Backrooms. Villager. Thrives, he fucking stays, and he stays on purpose. Dude, this place is infinite real estate, he's fucking crazy, you'd enjoy being Mega Man. Can I speak? Can I just talk? No interruptions? No? 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 Okay? Okay. Alright. So, he can teleport. For all intents and purposes, the Wii Fit Trainer is just a normal-ass dude. With their expertise in exercise and training and possibly meditation, she'd probably do a lot better than the average person in the Backrooms. You already know that Rosalina can teleport, but guess what? I can do you one better. She can reset the fucking universe? Fuck escaping the Backrooms. This bitch can erase the Backroom. Put it in a black hole, spawn a star or a supernova. Who gives a shit? She's basically a god. What the hell is a party girl gonna do to her? Little Mac is stronger than the average person, but even with his Big Mac form, I don't know how well he do against any hostile entities. Like, you don't really want to fist fight the bacteria or a party or a smiler. But anyway, he probably would survive. As a bonus, smaller people in general just don't need as many calories to survive or sustain themselves, which means Mac here could probably squeeze by with less resources. If Greninja reaches level 7, he'd probably be fine. Pac-Man, he thrives, he loves mazes. Bowser Jr. just goes fucking crazy. He's a baby, he's literally a baby. He's gonna fucking cry and then die. He's gonna be eaten. So on his own, the Duck Hunt Dog and the Duck are cooked. But we are counting the 3 of them as a team here, and that means the guy holding the Zapper. In the context of Smash Bros, the Zapper guy is someone outside the game, which means in the Backrooms, the Duck Hunt Dog and the Duck Duo would have this unseen entity watching them at all times that can simply shoot away any hostile entity that gets near them. They basically have their own guardian angel, so I think they would survive. Cloud. Cloud is very powerful. He can create pocket dimensions and shit, so he would probably escape at some point. Bayonetta is so fucking OP. I don't even want to get into it. Watch some other video how broken she is, alright? She is fighting the exit and leaving the Backrooms in ruins. Inklings, dead. They're cooked. They're like little kids, even with their ink guns, they can hide with ink, and they're getting eaten. They're turning into sushi. What's it called? Calamari. They're getting turned to calamari. They're cooked. Ridley. He's a big fuck-off dragon. He'd probably survive. Simon is the Doomslayer of the vampire world. He is an unstoppable monster-slaying expert, and I highly doubt anything can stand in his way. I don't see him easily escaping the Backrooms on his own, but I highly doubt he would be stopped by anything. Plus, if he's hungry, he can just whip the wall and get a pork chop. Richter Belmont. Same deal with Richter. Except, apparently in the lore, the Belmont family actually gets stronger and more powerful as you go down lineage, so he'd do just as, if not better than Simon, and survive. King K. Rool. The dude is smart enough to build a whole rubble with pots and pans, so between that and his strength, I think he'd be able to survive and thrive in the Backrooms. Incineroar. Might survive. He's strong, but not very intelligent. He'd probably just be on par with other hostile entities. Piranha Plant. Dead. Plants need light to survive. They need sunlight. There's no sunlight in the Backrooms. He's cooked. The Joker thrives. He can just enter his mind palace and chill, I guess. The Luminary from Dragon Quest XI has the ability to instantly teleport people into other timelines and effectively end the battle. So, assuming he can do that to himself if he chooses, he can just instantly leave the Backrooms. No telling where he ends up after the fact, but hey, that's not for us to worry about. Banjo-Kazooie. They might survive, but If push comes to shove, I fear that Banjo might have to enjoy some Kentucky Fried Kazooie. Terry is just a strong-ass dude who can fight. He can probably hold his own. And that's the same deal with Ryu and Ken. Min Min. Her arms are an effective weapon for self-defense, but she would just kind of be an above-average human being in terms of strength, though she could probably survive. Steve can just use slash teleport and leave! Zuya. He seems pretty strong. I think he could survive and beat up a bunch of entities with his demon powers. He's probably good. I'm so tired. And finally, Sora. Sora's whole thing is transporting between different worlds with his fucking... what? His Keyblade, right? He could probably just hop to another world. Alright, that's the video. Here's the final tier list. I have it linked in the description if you want to edit it and make your own alterations to it. If you think I'm wrong, which I'm never wrong, I'm always right. In conclusion, Simon Belmont, Castlevania is good, and Fire Emblem bad. Fire Emblem is a bad. It should have never been in Smash, I think. Worst Smash franchise. They should have never added it to the game. You don't need it in the game. No more anime. No cringe. Fire Emblem bad. Marth bad. Remove him. Remove all the characters. Don't care. This tier list is killing me! Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't know what came over me during that last recording session. Yeah, making this video took years off my lifespan, I think. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more stuff like this. And please leave a comment letting me know what you think. I always read all the comments, and I'm certain I got something wrong with this video, so please let me know. So with all that said, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye-bye! Peace.